feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to be back on this Thursday night with all of you. On this very eventful Thursday night, we have a backpack. Yes, that's right, a backpack. Everyone's going wild for these Ozark, these Ozark Trail backpacks. Here you go. Here's a version of it. Um, you know, I think they're going to sell out. They're going to sell out in Walmart. It's going to be like the new fashion item of 2026. Everyone's going to rush down to their local Walmart and buy one. That's that's what's going to happen. Maybe that's what'll happen. Oftentimes when some item of clothing or an accessory is seen online in a crime or for some way, it often sells out online. Like even the t-shirt that a politician was wearing sold out online because everyone's like, oh, I need to wear the t-shirt that a politician is wearing. So who knows? The latest du jour backpack could be the same as a kidnapper's. You too could walk around with a kidnapper's backpack for only $25.95 or whatever it is. Let's have a talk about it. I just think it's interesting that everyone's so wrapped up in this backpack. It was identified actually a while ago. This is the official identification of it. A few people identified it. A couple people on Reddit and another forum actually ID'd it. And then officially, the authorities came out and said, hey, this is the backpack. So it had been known for a while that this was what they were looking for. I don't think anyone's too surprised at it. And the fact that all the items that they're saying they believe that the kidnapper in the video was wearing, they believe they could all be bought at the local Walmart. All of it. The jacket, I think the backpack, the shoes, the pants could all be bought at a Walmart. Yeah, is it only $10? Oh, there you go. It's cheaper than $25.95. Is $10. There you go. You could be really fashionable. Kim says you have your hair down. I do. I don't know why. Just today I do. Today I don't know where my band went. I had a hairband. I don't know what happened to it or where it went. I think it probably just fell off or something. I'll have to find another one. Hey Joe, what's up, brother? Ellie wants people to identify the suspect by his gait, but it also appeared to be a heavy backpack. Yeah, I'm not sure I really like that approach to it for the reasons that you're stating, but also because he bends over a lot in that video, and you're like, "There's a lot of jokes there, Ping," and I'm like, "Yes, there is, but hold on." He's always sort of crouched over, or he's committing actions that doesn't give you someone who's straight up and down, which modifies the way someone walks or the way it might look. So I'm not really into that train of thinking either. Kathy said, "What is your opening song?" I don't know what it's called. I'd have to look it up. Let me look in here. Do we have a name for it? I'm not sure. I'd have to look up through my files. I got no idea. We made the video a long time ago. Bengal says it will be a truck that gets him caught unless it was stolen or something. Well, the expanded area for video now is an interesting tweak to all this, because they were talking about, oh, we only want to have it within, the first mile. Now they're like, hey, 12 miles away, if you've got surveillance video, we're looking into it. I think that's to me, I think they must have something else that they're looking for, a vehicle, like you're saying, a truck or something like that. Because if you're expanding that area now, you're opening up like rando people and things that, are not related when you're looking at, what is it, 12 miles or something? That is such a wide area. You could have like people doing deliveries at 2:30 in the morning. So I think that they know what they're looking for now. Um, no, not that I know of. Bengal says, I want to know if the aspirated blood is from a cough or a sneeze. I don't think there would be a way to tell unless you broke it down to like some sort of molecular level, and you were like, "Oh, we have this type of bodily fluid mixed into the blood," and I'm not sure if we'll ever ever know that. That's something for a lab technician to work on. I don't think that's something we can look into, but maybe it would tell you. It definitely looks like it was some sort of I was thinking about it the other day and I was thinking, oh, aspirated blood. And when you think of aspirated, you think of something internal that when you cough it is ejected. But it could have been something like a head cut that was dripping down the face and landed on the mouth, and then they breathed there or coughed or something like that and then sprayed it. So it could have been something as simple as that. Hey Lisa, Lisa said, so glad I get alive. It's good to see you all. I am sorry about yesterday. Trisha had a really long show. It went for like 3.5 hours, and by the time we would have hopped on, it would have been like 3 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, I'll just let her have the night, let her have her long show, and I'll come back the day after. So here we are today. All right. There is something I want to read out to you, though, just in case people haven't seen the update. I'm sure you have. Day 12 update. So the height of the male is what they're looking for, 5'9" to 5'10", average build. Average build. I find that interesting. When I was looking at the surveillance footage, I didn't see an average build male. I thought the guy was actually a little more heavier set, a little more stocky, especially in the top half. So I don't know about average, but okay. And then that 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. Not just that, the reward was $50,000. It is now $100,000 for any information that leads to Nancy Guthrie, all the people responsible for her kidnapping and whatever else may have happened to her. I appreciate the super chat though. Thank you. Lisbeth said they could easily check if it has saliva mixed in. There's probably a test or something they can do. Let's have a look. Rachel said, I didn't think average build either. It didn't look like average build. Like when I think of an average male, that this guy looks a little more like, staunch on top. Like an average male to me would be like 75 kilos. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. 75 kilos equal. Like 165 pounds, something like that. That's what I would think is like average. Yeah, I know he's got a big jacket on, but he just looks a little like I'm almost in that height range. I'm 6'1", and I'm what am I? I'm about that weight. I'm about 100 and I think I'm more like 100. Ping's like 176 pounds. So I'm 6'1", 176 pounds. So I don't know. Like I think if I was wearing that jacket, do you think I would look like sort of that big on top? I don't know. It's sort of similar size to Ping. Kim said someone mentioned body armor the other day. Yeah, I did see someone mention that. I don't know if he's wearing body armor. Here, let's put up the photo that we're talking about so people can play along at home. Here we go. So there you go. There's that jacket. You know, one of the craziest ideas that I've seen come out, is that this is not a male, this is a female. I don't know why people are perpetuating this, but there's a lot of people who think that because of the eyes, that this is a female. And I was like, this dude has a beard, and look, hey, there's ladies out there that have beards. That's all cool. But I don't know where they get female from. A lot of people think it's a lady. Hey, McSpunky, how are you? What? Is this your first time here? I don't think it is, Spunky. I think you've been here before, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Joe said, "Is that what your Tinder stats say, Ping?" I have I have never ever been on Tinder, or I don't know what the other ones are, but I've never been on the websites, on the Tinders, on the back page, on none of them. Ping's not on any of those things. Um, yeah, not me. Wendy said, "Not a lady." I don't agree. I don't know where people are getting this idea. Like, there's a lot of people who think these eyes, for some reason, are feminine. I think it's hard to tell in a black and white photo. I think in a black and white photo, it's hard to sort of make that determination, and I don't think it is a. I think we're all guessing it's probably a dude, but let's see. Khaleesa said, "My eyebrows are actually the thread of the eyebrows are actually the thread of the mask." Yeah, like the inside bit here is not actually an eyebrow. Yeah, I've heard that too. That a lot of people thought that this was like bushy eyebrows, aka Koberger. But it's actually the mask. All right. Kathy said that body shape is not feminine. Are you body shaming females in the world? Are you telling them that they can't be this type of shape? I don't know. The ladies might come for you. The ladies might come for you. JDR said, I shaved my beard this morning. I say that as a 68-year-old woman. I I mean, I I I mean the nads or whatever would be getting a workout with this type of facial hair, I think. Khaleesa said, plus he's wearing layers of clothes and double gloves. Yeah, definitely double gloves. We showed you the other night. I actually had some nitrile gloves here, and I put them on and I showed you my hands. And very similar, very similar. Although I'm still of the opinion that he's wearing either two pairs of gloves or a thicker pair of gloves underneath, and then the nitrile glove over the top. My opinion. Hey, Sammy, how are you? Good to see you. You're not body shaming? Are you sure? You just told us that a female could not be this body shape. I reckon the world's a big place, and there's probably a female out there somewhere that could be this shape, although maybe not in this particular, case. Kim said, my son has my eyes and his dad's lashes. My daughter has her dad's eyes. That's a weird type of organ donor program. Um, how do you guys get by in life without your eyes and lashes? I mean, did you just give one to each child? How does that work? Espion said, Vista advertisers tried to put an ad in your video and it's frozen now. We'll leave and come back. What is Vista? Like Windows Vista? What is Vista? I don't know who that is. Um, I'm not sure who Windows is. It like a Windows thing? Vista advertisers. I don't know what that is. Kathy said, I love it when little boys have long lashes. I wouldn't say that too loud on a true crime channel where we talk about CSAM a lot of the time. Kim said, first time getting ads tonight. We're getting ads? We don't normally get ads during the live show. We get ads after on the replay crew. There's ads on those videos. Ads on the live show. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Um, Kelly said YouTube has been having a lot of lagging and issues the last few days. Actually, the chat is working better tonight. It was really playing up the other day. Like I was sitting here doing a live show. There was like no one commenting for like 20 minutes. I couldn't see anyone. And then all of a sudden, bang, it would be like 150 messages would come through all at once. So YouTube or StreamYard's been having issues. SP says, I think Vista was an airline thing, but YouTube hates small creators. Okay. McSpunky said, I never got an ad. I'm on premium. It is a good point. The ads unfortunately pay for small creators like me. And, until we're making like, $10 million a year, on YouTube. It's a fact of life, unfortunately, for creators. But if you are on premium on YouTube, you won't get the ads, and the creator gets a cut of the premium from the viewer. From the viewer. So if you have premium, we get like a tiny percentage, like a couple of cents from from everyone's premium. So yeah, if you're on premium, that'll take care of that. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah, so that's those 2 things that I've heard. What was the other there was one more that I wanted to talk to you about. The second video. This is a good point. Where is it? There's a second video that everyone's sort of been going ballistic over, and I wanna watch it with you because I think there's something we can take from it. I was watching it earlier today, and no one's sort of been talking about this one point, and I want to where is it? I had it loaded up before we came in here. It's the guy with the gate. Hold on, I'll have to grab it. All right, let me see if I can get a copy of it really quickly. Yeah, this new video. No, that's the old video. Mm. We seem to be only getting News Nation. Hold on. I don't know why we can't get it at the moment. Here. Hopefully this will load. So here's the guy here. I'm sure you've all seen this video by now. I don't know if we'll be able to play it. I don't know if we will, but this guy, and it's got a backpack. Actually, has two backpacks, one in front of him that is very full, like the one we saw in the other video. But he's not wearing. There you go. He's not wearing the other like the balaclava. He's not wearing that. There's that other backpack, and he tries to. It almost looks like he tries to throw it over the fence, like he's going to go through this backyard. And I think this is extremely creepy for this time in the morning, very similar time in the morning to the other one, to come into a property that this looks like there is some sort of undercover carport area, or some sort of roofing up the top here. It is very enclosed. It's very ballsy to just walk into someone's property like this, almost throw your bag over and go to open the gate. It tells me someone who's um, there's a gate right here in front of the car. He's been cleared. They cleared him. It's creepy though. Oh, well, I'm glad they cleared him anyway. Okay, so they did. Okay, well, you guys got the better news than me. I had this on our list for tonight. I was like, this is the craziest thing. All right, well, if he's been cleared, that's good. Kelly said, I spend a lot of time on cable and internet. I refuse to get YouTube Premium, but now with what Ping said, I'm glad I don't have it. What did I say that makes you not want it? Pamela said, I love your voice, Ping. Helps me get to sleep every night. In the 3 years that I've been doing this show, there's been like a bunch of people who have said exactly what you have said. I don't know why. Spend a lot of money. I mean, what? That's what did you say? I spend a lot of money on cable and internet. I refuse to get premium. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, if he's been cleared, that's good. Is that the video Trish just trashed? It could be. It could be. I didn't watch the show, so I was too busy getting ready for this one. Um, did they clear him? I want to find that information. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. New video. Great, cleared. Look, either way, that guy, whoever it is, may have got caught up in a really horrible situation, right? And why is that not? Mm-mm. It's not. Here. I found it. Here. What does it say? Um, Here. Law enforcement officials have cleared the man in the video, according to two officials briefed on the matter. That doesn't sound like any sort of good confirmation. Just sounds like someone's source just went, yeah, we're good with that one. But it says also on Thursday, News Nation obtained surveillance video that seemed to show someone carrying and wearing backpacks similar to those in the surveillance videos from the Guthrie home, attempting to climb over a wall in Tucson at 1:52 a.m., which was minutes after Guthrie's Nest Cam camera disconnected at 1:47 a.m. and about 20 minutes before the system later detected a person at 2:12 a.m. It's creepy that you on a similar night you would have this more than one person creeping around backyards in Tucson. What is going on out there, and why is there multiple people with backpacks creeping around? Um, Elizabeth said everyone who has that backpack bracelet, there would have to be thousands of them. I heard someone on TV today saying the FBI could track them down via the backpack, but they must sell thousands of these per minute. If they're only like $10 at Walmart, and school kids have them, hikers have them, they probably sell thousands of them to people sleeping rough on the street, like people who might be homeless or something like that. Outreach agencies probably buy them for people. There must be thousands across the country sold every day. Yeah, I think it'd be very difficult. You'd have to know exactly what store it is, and you'd have to know who you're looking for, because otherwise it could be 24 people in the one Tucson Walmart who bought one on a Thursday before the crime. Like it'd be a difficult one to track down. Marlene said, "I'm with you, Ping. I think there are a lot of people creeping in the early morning hour. The town not as safe as they like to lead you to believe." I want to know what he was doing. If he was cleared, great, but what was he doing? What exactly was he doing in that person's home? Cat, come on. Hey, my cat's here. Hey, come on. My cat wants to sleep in a box that's right here. Rory, you can't sleep in that one. Come on. Um, she wants to go inside of the box. Okay. She's very special, okay? Very special. Um, is Donalana still not doing well? I hope she gets better soon. But yeah, there would have to be a million of these. Kelly said there are like 10 Walmarts in Tucson. And yes, Ping, there's even a big university down there too, along with the hike. Yeah, there's hikes everywhere. You go into the mountains. Um, I would think you would have to sell multiple pallets of these every month. So I think it's a tough ask. You might need something more identifiable. Maybe the shoes, maybe the jacket. Maybe that would be a better thing to track down. Diane said, at first I thought looking for recycling. Yeah, we have those people here that take the bottles from the recycling to hand in for the rebate. They do it here too. It's very annoying. At first, no, he looked like he was going to go into that backyard. I don't know if he lives there, but I wouldn't think so. I think the owner of the camera wouldn't be putting this in public if they were just like, "Oh, that's my brother George. George is coming home and he was too drunk to know how to open the gate." Like, he just didn't know how to do it anymore because he had too many beers. I don't think they wouldn't be doing that. Um, Maybe looking for a safe area to sleep in someone's backyard. I think that's a very dangerous proposition. Like, someone could shoot you. I wouldn't be jumping into someone's backyard even in Tucson. Kelly said big meth and homeless issue in Tucson, along with regular crimes, plus a lot of issues being close to the border. Hmm. I think I think it's possible unless this guy lives locally or lives at, I don't know, at the adjoining house or something. He could have been scoping the place out for a B&E because he seemed to really want. He looks like he was going to throw that bag over, throw the second one in, and try and open that gate and go through, but he didn't. Gayla said, "Behind a fence, away from the wild animals." What kind of wild animals will eat you in the middle of Tucson if you sleep on the street? What would that do to you? What coyotes? Are the coyotes going to come and eat you? It's the bandmate. Bandmate. Okay. Why would they put the video out then if it's someone they know? Mixed Monkey said YouTube is the most dangerous thing you do. I don't know. I don't know, Mixed Monkey. I reckon you may be a risk taker and that some of the things in your life may be more dangerous than YouTube. All right, let's have a look. All right, we got more to go through. Well, that's interesting at least. You know, it looks like it came originally from TMZ, so we all shouldn't be surprised. Oh, that's the other thing. The ransom note, the third ransom note. I keep hearing people go, that means it's all real. Come on, guys. How many times I posted this a million times. Where is it? And the cat needs to go away. Rory. Here. You know, when I heard what was in the third ransom note, or the third ransom note, I was shocked. Really. I was like, are we really I was like, is someone reading my tweets? Is that what's going on? Please arrange for 1 Bitcoin by 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today, Thursday, 22nd of 11, 2019, to the Bitcoin wallet here. This was an email. We talked about it last week. It was an email in the Epstein files, the Jeffrey Epstein files, the big release that came out. This was some email sent in to the authorities saying that they had this secret video implicating Jeffrey on all different things and how two girls were buried at his ranch, you know, two foreign girls. And all you need to do to get that information was to send 1 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin, and they would, what were they going to do? They were, if you sent the Bitcoin, the USB will be sent anonymously to your attention by overnight courier upon receipt of the funds. You have my assurance. This is exclusive, never shared before. No attorneys, no samples, no questions, please. Confirm as soon as possible. I like how he says here the material was taken from Jeffrey Epstein's home as my insurance in case of further or future litigation against Epstein. Sorry, no questions. No questions. They write this crazy email telling you that they've got all these videos and information about two dead girls buried in his ranch. And but you can't ask any questions. No questions. None. And then you have to pay 1 Bitcoin to get the USB with the information on it. That is very similar to the ransom note that came in yesterday. The ransom note that came in yesterday said that they knew the identity of who kidnapped Nancy Guthrie, but To get that information, you would have to give them 1 Bitcoin. Just 1. It's so tiny. It's just 1 Bitcoin. Actually, 1 Bitcoin is like $70,000. Um, yeah, it's the same thing. I think we're drifting more and more into the realm of scams and fraud and things like that. There are people now, if they haven't been since the original time, since the original ransom note, have just been trying to take advantage of the situation. We may find out in the end that whatever happened to Nancy Guthrie had nothing to do with these ransom notes. Clip that. And yeah, yeah. Sorry, that's for our software. Our software clips different little things for the shorts. If you say that word, so if you hear me say that, you're like, why does he keep saying that word? It's because it clips it automatically and then turns it into a short for us. Um, Kathy said nobody would have to pay me to turn over important info. Yeah. What's the Mark Twain saying? It, I'm gonna if I say it off the top of my head, I'm probably wrong. Hold on, Mark Twain. There's a Mark Twain saying which I think applies to that. Where is it? Buy land and not making it anymore. No, that's not the right one. What is it? It's something like people who tell the truth don't have to remember, and it's a good quote to think about. People who tell the truth don't have to remember. The reward is $100,000 now. Yeah, that is it, and doubled now from 50,000 to 100. I think we said that before when we're reading out the updates for today. Let me check my notes. I think we did. Yeah, we did. FBI increased the reward to $100,000. There you go. Kelly's saying, by saying that, yep, if we say that, it'll make a little video and then turn it into a short for us. Elizabeth said it was anywhere between 3K and 10K back when this one was in 2019. I think it was probably a bit more than that. Lindy said, I think the backpack may have had a tarp in it, and Nancy was carried out in a tarp, injured or dripped the blood. Lindy, there was another theory that I heard bandied about that backpack, and it was like, well, if you incapacitated um, Nancy Guthrie, how would you move her? And someone was saying maybe in that backpack there was a collapsible um like bag with wheels so you could put her in there and then pull her. I don't know if that works, but that is some things that people have come up with. Lauren says I'm back and have another theory. Okay, you tell us your theory, Lauren. Elizabeth said, I've just checked in the historical data. November 2019 was 9,000. Ah, really? Only like 6 years ago? I would have thought it was like way more than that. Wow. It was only 9,000 back in the just before the pandemic. I really would have thought it was a lot more, like 25,000, 40,000. I thought they'd already reached that 10,000 barrier, but I don't know. I don't have any Bitcoin. I have no idea. All right. What was the other point I wanted to make? Yes. So people, where's that photo of that backpack? I don't know whether if you all think it could fit into that backpack that he's wearing. Oh, that's not a good photo. But inside of it, we've all seen that video. The backpack that he's wearing, that really one that's really full. Is there a type of bag you could get that would have some sort of wheels on it so you could wheel someone? I'm I think the better theory might be that they just got her out of the house and that there was an accomplice on the road and they just bundled her into a vehicle and then went away, like they drove away. I think trying to put her into something and then um, m- moving her around, it adds a lot of complexity where there'd be more scrape marks and things left behind, wheel marks in the dirt or something like that. I think it's not the greatest theory I've heard. Strong enough, but small enough. Nope. Hmm. Lauren said, "I think." Hold on, guys. Guys, give me a second. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Someone was calling my phone, and I was like, "Who would be calling me at like at this time of the day?" Let me check. I don't know who this rando number is. Don't you hate that? And then they come up and they're always like spam call or suspected whatever. Um, Kim said, wouldn't there be tire tracks? Or like if it was like a rollerblade wheel, you would think it would go through the grass or there would be a track of some sort. All right, let's see. Diane said the driveway is gravel, so I guess not a good idea to drag anything. You'd probably kick up a lot of rocks. You would probably do that. I think the simplest answer tends to be the one that's the right answer, and I think just abducting her from the house and then throwing her into a vehicle, so you would probably most likely have a second person, possibly. Sheriff ain't a sheriff. I actually want to hear your opinions on there's some information going around today that there's a disagreement between the FBI and the sheriff, that the sheriff is not allowing the FBI to take any of the forensic evidence to Quantico in Virginia and test it. I don't know what you guys think about that. It almost sounds like a power play, even though Pima County Sheriff is the lead agency. You would think you'd want it to go to the FBI, not to some random lab in Florida. That's where they sent the glove. So you guys tell me what you think about that. Kim said, with the way they keep releasing the crime scene, makes me wonder what they missed. Um, I think that they would have a terrible issue with contamination, especially with anything on the outside of the house. You would be very hard pressed to try and get anything to stand up in court without contamination now, with so many people that have come to the door, taken photos, filmed up near the evidence. Think you would have a lot of problems. I don't believe anything that sheriff says anymore. He he said a lot of things very early on, and then every time we'd hear from him, he would walk it back. And that's why we don't get press conferences anymore, is because his advisors were like, shut up, stop talking, stop going to the media, because it was basically becoming a liability. He was saying really stupid things. He was talking to reporters after hours. He was taking interviews at a moment's notice without being briefed. There was a lot of problems with it. So, Renee, is it Ree? I'm going to call you Ree. Uh, do any know? Do anyone know that Miss Nancy had an alarm system in the house? I don't. I don't know whether there was like a pin code alarm or like one of those ones where you walk in and have to punch in a code and then turn it off or disarm it. Don't know. Not sure. Any resource would be welcome. You would think so. Gail said, if I were the family, I would be going for his job. I think the fact that we're at the end of almost the second week of her being kidnapped. A week ago, we were all worried that she was not alive. What are we now? If we were worried a week ago about her being, you know, with us on Earth still, it's now another week later. Are we now just resigned to the fact that she's most likely not alive? Because everyone was freaking out a week ago when we're getting to the 7-day mark. I don't know what you guys think, but uh, I think that it's a long time for a woman with very serious health issues to be, where somewhere. We don't even know. Hold on. Yeah, here I want to take you to the bit about the agencies not cooperating. There's a bit here and I want to show it to you. Where is it? All right. Hopefully this will play. Yeah.
Welcome to Hannity. Tonight we begin with this Fox News alert. Breaking just moments ago, our very own Trace Gallagher now reporting that DNA and a glove have been located inside the home of Nancy Guthrie. In just a moment, we'll have the very latest from Arizona, including new details about the suspect. Also tonight, an explosive hearing on Capitol Hill. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is now charged with raping and murdering in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Harvey Levin will join us in a moment. We'll get his take on and delaying investigators in the hopes that they would finally get to work together, but want to engage in this discussion too deeply in the hopes that they would finally get to work together. But it's a much deeper story than people know. Here with more and the new evidence found inside the Guthrie home, the host of Fox News at Night, right here on Fox, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock on the West Coast. Trace Gallagher. Trace.
Yeah, and Sean, a high-level source from the FBI has confirmed that story to me. We learned that Pima County Sheriff is blocking key evidence to the FBI. What happened was there was DNA found inside Nancy Guthrie's house. We knew about that part. They also found a glove inside the house. The FBI wanted that evidence sent to Quantico for analysis, but the Pima County Sheriff's Office decided to send it to an alternate lab in Florida. So the key thing here is, yes, there is a dispute on that because the FBI believes they're going to have to take that glove and resend it to Quantico for analysis. So you have the head.
So there you go. The FBI saying that even if this report from Florida comes in, that they would want to do their own testing on any items in their own lab in Quantico in Virginia. I don't know about you, but it sounds like the sheriff's almost like, I want to do it my way. And the FBI's like, we could do the testing for you for free. Send it with us to Quantico and we'll put our best people on it and get it done, very quickly. And they just decided, no, we don't want to do that. I I don't know why. A week ago we were told this is a lockstep investigation between Pima County and the FBI and that they're working together and they're friends and they high five. Doesn't sound like that anymore. It sounds like they're being childish. Florida. No, they're sending the glove they're sending it to Florida. That is the Pima County's lab, not Quantico. That's in Virginia. Kelly said this, along with the missteps the sheriff's office has made it on the first few days, doesn't look good for him. This particular sheriff, I learned some information. I did some digging on him. This particular sheriff was in the job before. He actually lost office a number of years ago because of a RICO funding dispute with the federal government. The federal government were wondering where I think it was about $500,000 went missing. And it ended up being someone on this particular sheriff's appointment on the staff had actually misappropriated the money. When they found it out, that guy was charged, taken to court, and I think he got something like a behavior bond or suspended sentence. Anyway, the sheriff ended up losing his office because of that RICO investigation. Another sheriff was in there for a term, and then I think that was a female sheriff. She ended up losing the election, and now we're back with this guy. So he's had a bit of a funny history with attacking federal authorities in the past. When that RICO investigation was going on, he was attacking them, saying, "Yeah, these guys come in here. If you want something done, we're real cops, and you should come and give it to us, and we'll get the job done." And he was saying things like that. And now he has the opportunity to show up the FBI and solve this, national, worldwide kidnapping. And so far, nothing. Hand slapped? Yeah, sounds like a bit. Kelly said, no wonder a lot of people in Tucson don't like the sheriff. Yeah, so he was involved in a RICO case. I think it was about 8 years ago now. And yeah, someone on his staff was misappropriating money. I think, yeah, about $500,000. And he ended up losing his office. Hold on, what's his name? Sheriff. Pima County. Let me see if I can find that old video. If you guys have not seen it, let me see if I can find it. RICO. No, that's not it. Yeah, so in 2016, a chief deputy was indicted on federal charges involving the misuse of RICO funds, which significantly impacted that year's sheriff race. So he lost it in that year of election, and it was because of the this particular RICO funds. So there was $500,000 in RICO funds, money seized from criminal, and it was apparently used by this guy Radke. I think hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. He gave the money to his own niece to fund a cafe that she owned back then. A cafe. It's supposed to be used for for other things. Here, I'll show it to you. I'll go to K-Gun. This is when it happened, back when he was sheriff the first time.
Allegations of money laundering and obstruction of justice.
K-Gun 9 has learned of serious questions about the possible misuse of money in the Pima County Sheriff's Department. That's hundreds of thousands of RICO funds that should only be used to fight crime, but instead might be illegally used for other things.
Now, your side investigative reporter Valerie Cavazos joins us now with the exclusive details. Val.
As Sheriff Chris Nanos confirms, the FBI is still investigating its investigation into possible misuse of RICO funds and told KGUN 9 the FBI scheduled a second interview with one of his senior command staff this week. The FBI began investigating claims that RICO money possibly bankrolled a remodel cafe for staff operated by Chief Deputy Chris Radke's niece, an allegation Nanos denies.
Nothing was done wrong with RICO monies or appropriation of funds in terms of any criminal activity. Were there mistakes made in the procurement process? Yes, there were, and I've corrected those.
But Dr. Richard Cremona.
Do you notice anything? A lot of the answers that he gives just then sound exactly what we hear from the press conference with him over the last week or two. You know, he's deny everything. We didn't do anything wrong. And they find out later that, yes, they did do something wrong. That particular chief deputy stole $500,000 from the government. And he ended up losing his office because of it. They ended up bringing in, I'm pretty sure it was a female sheriff. They didn't like her either, and they got rid of her. He ran for it again, and they gave it back to him just recently.
Well, there isn't one penny of RICO dollars we've ever spent or will spend without going through the process of the county attorney's review and saying whether or not it's lawful or not. I'll tell you right now, do I like that idea? No, not really. But you can buy an award for one of your deputy or staff using RICO dollars.
That's true. RICO funds can cover the awards, but not food and entertainment. Kagan 9 obtained ledgers dating back to 2009 and 2010, showing tens of thousands of dollars in RICO funds moved from the general fund to the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers Account, or SAV. The list of purchased items include tuxedos, flowers, furniture, and entertainment equipment.
Basically, what this is showing is that it was common practice for the awards dinners to be paid for through the SAV funds and with the help of the RICO funds.
RICO funds and individual funds were put into the SAV accounts under an account that dealt with the awards banquet.
The ledger shows a RICO deposit of $35,000 in September of 2010, labeled Special Awards Fund. Several sources have told 9 on Your Side that this practice of allegedly using RICO funds in ways they shouldn't be, from at least 2009, have continued for several years after that, including this year. Nanos told KGUN 9 the FBI has interviewed a staff member from the finance department.
And we started hearing from the financial officers saying that there was illegal activity with the RICO funds. You can't use them that way.
Remember, FBI agents were asking questions about Chief of Staff Brad Gagnapane. 3 months ago, Gagnapane was found dead, shot outside a neighbor's house. The county medical examiner's office ruled it to be a suicide. The sheriff's report shows the neighbor called 911. Sheriff Nanos and Deputy Chris Radke showed up at the scene. Within hours, Carmona began receiving calls that
and appropriate processes and procedures were not followed based on what the deputies and detectives at the scene said.
Does anything seem familiar? It seems like Sheriff Nanos has a history of not following the rules, doing whatever he wants, and even when one of their staff dies via their own hand, decides, oh, we're just going to do it our way, and we're not going to let our own detectives investigate it properly. We're just going to rule it an S word and get out of here for the night. You know, there's a lot of criticism of this particular sheriff right now because of the Guthrie investigation. And I mean, what will we find out when we get to the end of this in 3 months' time, half a year's time, a year from now? Are we going to find out things like this? Was there things not done right? Were there things that, you know, were skipped over? We'll find out, I guess. Hey, Rick, what's up? They searched the delivery guy without a warrant. I don't know where the information that they had a court-ordered warrant came from, but that was being reported. Marlene said he was a snake then. Just shed his skin to be a bigger snake. Could be. Hey, Chubby. They will never find Nancy because of this guy. You might be right. By the way, there was a nice comment up here. Hey, KB. Ping, love your show. Love you. Love your show. Love your hair down. Good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. It's thank you for the compliments. It's very kind. Kim said, I'd be so pissed if it was my mom. You know, there's been some comparisons to the Keystone cops, and you go, wow, you know, that it is sort of an apparent observation based on what we've seen so far. I mean, I can't blame people for saying that. Rick said they said it wasn't a warrant. Okay, that's last I heard that it was court ordered. Mama Mia said, "Why the ads tonight?" We're not sure. We're not sure. I'll have to check into it. I don't know. Um, Let me check my phone. Is there a way we can turn it off? Give me a sec. Let me look on. We've got a YouTube app on here. Let me see if I can modify it or something. Normally we have ads after the video on the replay. So if you watch on the replay, there will be ads, and I'm not apologizing for that. I just don't know why they're on the live stream. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Kim said, it's fine if it gives you money. It does. We need 100,000 of them, but they do. Marylander said, not getting any ads. Well, I'm glad you're not getting any. All right. I just want to hear what he has to say here for his reply, and then we'll get off this topic.
I can't believe 1 minute that anybody called Carmona. I can't believe that. But maybe I'm wrong.
In the sheriff's report, on the night of the suicide, the neighbor said Gagnon Payne had been arguing and texting his wife on his cell phone, but detectives were not allowed to interview her, a key witness. Only Nanos and Radke spoke to her, but there isn't a report from either one. One detective reports he was not allowed to look for a suicide note in Gagnon Payne's house, and a supervisor told a detective they would not be going to the autopsy, which sources say is normal procedure.
Were the detectives allowed to go to the autopsy?
I don't know why they wouldn't be. I don't know. Let me ask this. I don't know why they would go. It's a suicide.
And the public, I think, rightfully needed to know that, because his suicide was coincident with him finding out that he was part of the FBI investigation.
The shame is this is a guy who spent 30 plus years of his life serving this community.
So the question
and
is then why
trash him. And they're going to trash him. Shame on them.
Then why?
Shame on them.
Then why did he commit suicide?
Well, I don't know his demons.
Was he questioned by the FBI? Was he a primary person in the FBI investigation?
No. I don't believe that at all. I don't know it, but I don't.
You see a lot of the same over-emotional replies, and it tells me that this particular sheriff, you can tell when he's lying or you're getting close to something that is true. When you start pressing him on a topic that you may have information you want to confirm or something, he has displayed this same behavior in the press conferences over the last couple of weeks. If you go back and watch them, you will see him react the same way when a media member gets close on a piece of information. They'll say something like, I'm not sure, but when they're talking about the forced entry, listen to how he reacts, and it's very similar to that. When it's something he knows that he is in control of, he's very calm, very quiet. But when it's something that's outside of his control or he's lost control of, he acts like that. So yeah, he starts getting overly emotional for no reason. These are very simple questions, and if you're the sheriff, you got to be able to answer them. That's your whole job, not to fight with a reporter, not to get upset like that. It doesn't actually make you look good. It actually makes you look like you can't defend yourself with your own words. It makes it look like you have to use your emotions and like fighting with people to try and get your way. And that's not a sign of good leadership to me. Hey, Ladybug Toes, how are you? Ladybug Toes says, seen this sheriff on TV before, just realized why. There you go. So hopefully you all know about this now. And so to recap it very quickly, he was sheriff previously when this happened. he lost that the same year this investigation happened. He lost office. There was a new sheriff came in, and then they had another election cycle. He eventually got voted back in not that long ago. So now he's back. Nanos is back. I believe he did the press conference for the arrest of Barry Morphew because Barry moved to Arizona. Is that right? And he moved to Tucson. I haven't checked up on the Barry Morphew one in a while. I know he moved, but that's all I can remember. Voted back in. Yeah, I someone just sitting in a room writing down Chef Nanos, number 1, Chef Nanos. What is his name? Sheriff Nanos, not chef. I don't think he'd cook any food. Sheriff Nanos, number 1. Possibly. Ladybug said, I can't stand Morphew, but this sheriff rubbed me the wrong way in that press conference. McSpunky said he's like Thanos. I don't see any giant glove with all the stones in it, and I don't think he's going to, like, what do they call it? Blip everyone away. I don't think he's going to take 50% of the population and take them away. Kelly J said, I thought Morphew was in Chandler or Gilbert. I don't know. I'm just going off the comment in the chat. No idea. All right, let's continue. Let's keep going. So yeah, we heard about that. Here's the bit more information. Yeah, federal officials have reportedly asked Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos for the glove and the DNA sample found inside Nancy's home so they could be processed at the FBI National Crime Lab at Quantico, Virginia. And apparently the sheriff denied that, instead sending it to a private lab in Florida. They're saying here the Pima County's already spent $200,000 on sending evidence to that particular lab, which the department has a contract with. I would have thought there would have to be a lab in Arizona. Why do you need to send it to Florida? There would have to be like a level 3 forensic lab in the state of Arizona. There's got to be. I find that really strange that it has to go out to Florida. There has to be some sort of kickback going on there. Follow the money? There has to be. Why would you send it to Florida? There would have to be another lab. Let me have a look. Crime scene. Let's check. The city of Phoenix has their own lab. So the Arizona Department of Safety or Public Safety, DPS, has access to that lab. And even the Chandler Police Department has their own forensic lab. Why? Hold on. Yeah, I find that quite strange that you would have to send it miles away via airplane to go to Florida, when even Chandler, the city of Phoenix, they all have their own labs. Yeah, it's a bit strange. We would have to get an answer to that. Ladybug Toast says, I appreciate your coverage on this. Thank you. It's very kind. CEO of Florida Lab. I don't know. I don't think we know what lab it is in Florida, and there's probably more than one. Lisbeth said, I wonder why he has a contract with this particular lab. Maybe it went out. So the way these things work is they go out to tender, and maybe it was the bidding on the contract was lower in Florida than it was in Arizona. But you would think for convenience and to keep it in the family of Arizona police, that you would send it to Phoenix and get it done at the lab down there. At least I would have thought so. It's not like you're sending it to some specialty lab that only works with, you know, something really finite that you have to, there's only like 2 labs in America for. This is just a crime lab, and there's quite a few of them. So interesting. Even in the city of Tucson, they have their own forensic lab. Says here the Tucson Police Department Crime Laboratory is part of the Forensics Division of the Investigative Services Bureau, funded in the 1960s, is the oldest crime lab in Arizona. And apparently they moved into a new building not that long ago, brand new state-of-the-art building, a number of years ago. They moved into a really nice Tucson PD crime lab. So I don't know, maybe they can't do the work. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a private lab. Yeah. Elizabeth said the cost of shipment would surely compensate for the lower bid. You would think having to send something, because you can't just throw it in a FedEx satchel and post it. You have to send it like secure shipment in, probably in some sort of, you know, a box or something with a code, you know, stuff like that. It couldn't be just sent in a mailer. You'd have to send it in some sort of secure package. So I don't know. That's something we'll have to, maybe we can get some of our journalist friends to find out why. I know a couple of journalists who are covering the Guthrie investigation. Maybe I can ask them why it had to go to Florida. And I mean, I would have just sent it to Quantico. Quantico is one of the premier labs in America. They've worked on so many different high profile cases, and they have some of the best people in the country. I would probably want to send it there to some random lab in Florida. Yes, that is right. Gayla said chain of custody says it needs to be with the police. I thought. I'm not sure. It's something we can try and get answers to, about why it had to go out of the state to Florida. We can try and find out. All right, what else do they say? We have the description of concentrate. Yeah, we learned about that. We learned about the expansion. This was pretty cool. Because we didn't do a show yesterday. So if we're going over a couple of topics which are old, it's because I didn't do a show yesterday. You know, I heard a very good explanation for this, and it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people were saying today that they were collecting more forensic evidence. Yes and no. The explanation that I heard is that this is actually, they use LiDAR to take a laser scan of the area so they can digitalize it and then put it into the computer. And then they can do more sort of tracking. So now they have a suspect on the video. If they measure that entire area and then put it into a mapping software, they can then work out how tall people are, how things might happen. They can run a virtual camera. There's a whole lot of different things that can be done when you have this sort of digital layout of the area. So someone today was saying that is what they were doing. I don't know. It's not a answer I have for you, unfortunately, and I'm sorry. Let's see. Who is messaging me? Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, I think that's the majority of the updates for it. I'm just going to check what else we have. Yeah, I think that's about all of it. I don't have too much more. It's been sort of a very quiet 48 hours since that person, Carlos, was arrested the other day. We all got very excited. Everyone thought we were close to the end. And no, we weren't. It just sort of imploded, And now we're back to where we were before. We don't have an answer. We don't have Nancy Guthrie. And now every day that goes by, Savannah is posting videos online, begging people to check their cameras, call in with tips, help out. They're not as reserved as they were for the first week. They're very public now, like calling for more help. So no, it's not her. They showed, yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was crazy one day, then nothing. Kelly says, feels like we're at square one. It definitely feels that way. It feels like there is no progress. We got that video, that creepy nightmare fuel video, and now nothing. Everything's sort of cooled off once again. We've sort of gone, it was like we're on the boil, and now we've come off the boil again. It's no more new information. All right, let's check here. Anything I can show you? No, but there is a lot more information here. There's another one on CNN. Sheriff under pressure as search for Nancy Guthrie continues, and they're saying here questions around the sheriff's handling of the investigation are still being thrown out there by multiple people, and including us as well. We've been saying it as well. And what else do we have? Investigators have to rule out that the suspect in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie didn't go to a neighbor's house first in the days and weeks leading up to the incident. Well, we've seen no proof of that. We haven't seen another video or a doorbell of the same guy being a prowler or attacking other households. Nothing like that at all. I think that's it for CNN. Yep, that's it. Evidence recovered by investigators includes multiple gloves. Well, you would think by now, the one they found on the side of the road and the one in the home, they would be able to tell if they were the same type of glove. Not if they're the exact same, but just that they're the same type. One might be a shiny type of glove, the other one might be a matte, the other one might have elastic at the end, the other one might not. So they would probably be able to tell if they were similar by now. And then Tucson neighbors have been asked to submit any footage from doorbell cameras that includes cars and people from about 4 weeks before Nancy went missing. Wow, 4 weeks now? So we've gone 4 weeks and 12 miles around her home now. Crazy. Yeah, we already showed that. He has been cleared, apparently. Rick said the lawsuit is incoming, I'm sure. I think depending on what happens, the Guthrie family may have a case. Maybe they might. Kalisa, hey, my friend. But the police department sent the glove found in the home to the lab in Florida without even telling the FBI. Yes. Chubby says, I have a question for you about the doorbell video. All right, shoot. Go for it. Tell us what you want. What do you want to know? What do you want to know, Chubby? Tell us all about it. Yeah, let me see if I can get that video up so we can all play along at home. Here we go. Let's pause that music. There you go. You guys can... Actually, this is terrible. I have the raw files here. There we go. There you go. You guys can see it from the Nest camera. There's the footage for you. Chubby said, in the intruder doorbell camera, there is no package on the right side of the porch. I believe it came after that. There is an Amazon driver that they interviewed. I don't know if it came in a day later or a couple of days later or at some point, but I think it came in after. The next morning in the blood drops video, there is a package on the right side of the door. Who put it there? The blood drops video did not come a week later. I mean, a day later. It came like 5 days later. So there's a big time jump between this video right here and when they did the blood drops video. The blood drop video came after they gave back the crime scene and took down the tape. So the media came up and started videoing and they found the blood drops. So there was a bit of time between the two. So at some point, maybe a Amazon driver came up and gave a package. Kelly said, yeah, they released that scene so quick. They did. Hey, CMP, how are you? CMP says, she is dead already. You might be right, CMP. You might be right. I don't think what's the way we could put it? I think the odds of survival are against her at this point. I think anyone with a rational view of the world and life would understand that a 84-year-old woman who hasn't had her medication in almost 14 days could be either very ill or not with us anymore. Yeah, there is a package that was there. Kelly J said, what's really curious is the Adult Protective Services card that was left over the door. Is that what it was? I did see the little card that was put in there. Oh, it's frozen. Can we loop it? I don't think we can loop it, unfortunately, but there you go. So this is the file from the FBI. This is not from a news station. This is actually the one that the FBI gave out. So you guys can there's another one where he does the flowers. Here you go. So these are the raw files. And there you go. You can see the torch as well. I still think using the flowers, why not use your hand? If I was walking up to a door and there was a camera there and I didn't have a piece of tape and I'm wearing gloves, I would just put my hand over it. It instantly blocks the view. Why do you need these flowers? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, we'll play it again. And he's got the torch on. It's very, I know it's very dark, but you just use your hand. That's what all the guys say. Yeah, I don't know what this guy was up to. It's a very strange thing to fiddle with, trying to break into someone's home and abduct them. So you spend a good minute or two doing this. Yeah, very, very odd. Hold on. So they couldn't measure his hand. I don't think you could, even if you put his hand over the door, especially because he has possibly one or more gloves on his hand. So, um, so, yeah, that's right. He couldn't do that because he had to go get the flowers. That's right. That's right. There we go. I like to drop those words in there for you. So if people are paying attention or not. Yeah, so there's your videos from the Nest camera. You know, these images really remind me of Mr. Crawl. So Mr. Crawl was a guy who used to abduct children in Victoria, Australia. And the sort of image with the balaclava with the night camera reminds me so much of the Mr. Crawl sketches that we used to get. I'll show them. Hold on. Mr. Crawl. It reminds me so much of when I saw this video for the first time. Mr. Cruel was sort of the first thing that I thought about was this. And Mr. Cruel used to abduct little children, sexually assault them for a number of hours, and then drop them off again after forensically washing their bodies down so he could not be tracked. They couldn't get any DNA. Guys, hold on. Sorry, I thought that was Mrs. Ping at the door, but it was my neighbor. Yeah, so this guy in the 80s and 90s in Victoria where I live committed a bunch of break-ins and abducted little children. His last possible victim ended up being shot in the head and then buried in a location, and then they never heard from him again. But they're still not sure whether that final victim was actually a victim of his or not. There's still some debate whether Mr. Cruel would actually kill a child or not. So, but anyway, I'm going off topic a bit. Just this video, I think of Mr. Cruel because of the balaclava, and that's what the little children must have seen back in the 80s and 90s when Mr. Cruel broke into their home. Something like this with a guy wearing a balaclava. So, nope, they never caught him. No, he's never been located. They have never ever caught him. Khalid said, I wonder if this guy has done other break ins. He looks pretty calm. Yeah, he doesn't look rushed. Like most people doing a break in want to get in and get out again, but he just is very calm, taking his time, trying to get that camera off. He put his hand under it. He was trying to unclip it, I think. And then he goes, I don't know if I see, is the package in the other video? Let's have a look. Is there a package there? I don't I don't see a lot with the flowers there. This is a doorknob for people wondering. That's a doorknob. And a lock. Creepy videos, they really are. You had to temporarily uninstall X? Okay. Kelly said he's not looking around either, like behind him, which makes me think that there may be someone else in a car out on the road because he knows his back is covered and that if something was going to happen, he'd get warning, like a beep or something. He would get some sort of notification. We don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. Let's see. Do we have any other updates for him? I don't think so. I think we've just about covered everything. It's been a very kidnappy type of week. I don't think we've covered a lot of anything else for like a week. It's been a little full on, hasn't it? I hope we'll get back to some other cases over the weekend. That would be good. Lisbeth says, what do we make of the open back door and all of this? Surely if he used the front door to go in and out, why would the back door be open? I don't know, unless he went out the back thinking he could get out, like somehow out through the back of the property and then realized he could not. Diane said there was another package delivered today. Must be an auto ship. Yeah, I get them from Amazon too. So it wouldn't be the first person. Sean said, why go to the front door? Where did he break in from? I don't think we know. Too much child torture? Yeah. Kelly said, I wonder if this one was a distraction and the other person was at the back. Could very well be. I would not be surprised if we end up finding out it was more than one person. I don't think that would shock anyone that we would have more than one person involved. Well, we don't know. We'll find out. All right, let's see. Did we just lose our net? I hope not. Hold on, I'm just trying to see if we've got internet still. Jeez. All right. All right, I'm just going to take you out to News 12 for a very quick video.
Tonight, police are learning more about a possible suspect in the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, thanks to forensic analysis of this video you're looking at, recorded by her doorbell camera. Thanks for joining us tonight for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kariba Devine. Now, 12 days into the search, the FBI hopes that a new description will help identify the suspect. 12 News journalist Maria Stobbs is live outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. And Maria, what's the latest there?
Well, that's right, Mark Caribe. The FBI is hoping that this new description will help them narrow down the more than 13,000 public tips they've received since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing on February 1st. A new description of the man seen tampering with Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera the night she disappeared. The FBI says he's estimated to be between 5'9" and 5'10", of average build, and wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack backpack.
Somebody's going to say, hey, I know that person.
Retired Phoenix Police Commander Jeffrey Hines says the recovered footage reveals more clues.
He comes with a front holster that is for a revolver. He's got a semi-automatic in it. He's trying to put plants up in front of the camera. Whoever this person is, they're not some trained kidnapper.
He's also seen wearing a ski mask and gloves. The Pima County Sheriff's Office confirms investigators are testing a pair of gloves recovered as evidence.
Making the connection back to the suspect is always going to be a hard thing, but you're still going to do DNA on it. You're going to recover DNA from those gloves, and it gives you another investigative lead to follow up on.
I mean, maybe the one inside the home, possibly. The one they found on the side of the road, who knows whose glove that is? Could be from the local council that does the gardening on the side of the road, or the local mechanic that came out to help someone, roadside service or something like that, and they came out and they were wearing nitrile gloves to do work. It could have been from all sorts of things a mile and a half away from the home. So I don't know about that one, but we will find out. The other thing I've heard is that one of the things they're working on right now is they're working on a geofence for that night in question. Now, I've heard this from a reliable person that works in telecommunications, that they have been requesting data from the cell phone towers for the last week, and that there is more coming, that they're trying to do a geofence of the location to try and narrow down how many phones might have been in the area at that one time, and whether they're supposed to be there, whether they're not supposed to be there, whether they may be sending messages at 1:47 a.m. in the morning, all sorts of things. So it takes some time. I've done this work before. I worked as a network technician for 15 years. It's time consuming. You have to, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. This area is not too bad. It's better than if you did it in, say, Phoenix. If you did it in the city, could be months of work. This place is more rural. You have less people around, hopefully less connections to the cell tower. So we'll have to wait and see. But I am being told by someone I know that authorities have been putting in subpoenas for information for the cell phone towers. So that comes from one of my friends that works in the area. So they've been doing work, getting data, handing it over to authorities, and maybe it might lead us to someone, hopefully. Kelly said, I apologize for my horrible spelling tonight. All my fingers don't want to work. There you go. That's okay. Gail said, too bad. Bad people need to go old school. I think a lot of criminals know now to not take a mobile phone with you. It's quite common now for criminals to not have a phone on them because they know they can be tracked. So it doesn't happen as often anymore. Rick says fire them. I don't know about firing them. But yeah, it is something that is being worked on. So we'll see how long it takes them to narrow down the connections to the area, to what tower, how many towers they need. Ideally, you'd want 2 or 3 towers of information. If you could get 2, that would be okay. If you could get 3, that would be perfect. 3 allows you to do triangulation, which is much better for trying to track people, find things, find out the horizontal like height. It's a lot of work. Yeah, you can do it with 2. 3's better. 4 is even more better. But in this area, I think you'd be lucky to get 2. I think if you could get 2 in this particular area of Tucson, you'd be having a good day. So we'll have to wait and see. Kelly said, all the info we do have coming out makes it seem like they don't really have a lot going on. I can tell you that my friend that works in telecommunications in Arizona is telling me that they are working flat out, that they have been trying to sort of farm this data as quickly as they can. They've sent people out to get remote access to different towers and do tower dumps and retrieve records and all sorts of things, but it takes time. It takes time to get the data. It takes time to work through it. It's not an easy, unless you had like 100 people to work through it and work as a team. It'll take some time, a week or 2. So we may have to wait a little while. Kelly said, it's so sad this has been going on so long for her poor family. I feel for the family a lot. The fact that it has become so national, so saturated coverage wise, and I feel sorry for them. The fact that it must be like living in the Truman Show. The fact that every time they turn on the TV, every time they go on the internet, every time they go out into public, it's about them, it's about their mom, it's about this, it's about something to do with their lives. It must be like living in a movie. It must be like living in a movie where you are the focus. It must be traumatizing. Big Brother won't let us down. Well, they already got the video from Big Brother, and the way they got that video was very impressive. So, Lizbeth said, I think it'll continue on for a while. Investigations take time, and it's not a rescue anymore. I know the family's been putting out that they believe it can still be a rescue, but I just have a funny feeling that that timeline has passed, and I have a feeling they've been told that, because it's really strange. Since Monday at 5 o'clock came and went, the family's attitude, especially Savannah, has completely changed. It's gone completely 180. She's now posting a lot, speaking without being coached, not having the FBI write what she's going to say. She's been releasing videos of her mum, and I just have a funny feeling if they've been told that the chance of survivability has now dramatically gone down. Gail said they haven't spoken directly to mum. Not yet. Kelly said they say it's still a rescue. Some ex-officers say that too, but I agree, Ping. I've heard that a lot of them just don't give up hope until they have a reason to give up. So that may be the way they look at it. All right, let's play the rest of the video.
Anyone who lived within a 2-mile radius from Nancy Guthrie's home is now being asked to review their surveillance footage between January 1st and February 2nd and submit any videos of people, cars, and anything out of the ordinary to the sheriff's department.
There's pre-planning in anything of this nature. There's pre-planning. You're driving by, you're checking out the scene, you're checking neighbors, you're seeing how many cars drive by this house and how often. There's always going to be pre-work that's done. So that is a fantastic investigative idea.
As investigators work every lead,
this is just going to take some investigative work, but he will be caught.
The Guthrie family is holding on to hope. Today, host Savannah Guthrie sharing this home video and old photograph on Instagram, captioning it, "Our lovely mom. We will."
Sorry, we can't play the music from her, but this was a video that Savannah released. You may have seen it already.
$1,000 to $100,000, and they're asking that if you do have any tips, you contact 1-800-CALL-FBI. We're live in Tucson. Maria Stobbs, 12 News.
All right, Maria, thank you.
There you go. There you go. Kaliza said, shouldn't this have been requested at the beginning? What are you talking about? The video that Savannah gave? Or are you talking about the cell phone tower? Cell phone tower takes time because you need subpoenas and court orders, and they are not instant. You can't get them like that. You have to do investigative work. You have to apply for them. You have to go through the court. You have to get these companies the documentation to get it. There may have been other things that they wanted more before they did that. Now, we heard when they went to Google to get the video from the Nest camera, they also had to get court documents in order. So that may have been the priority rather than the cell phone tower data at the time. So geofencing, they are doing a geofence. I can tell you that for sure, that is a technique that they are looking at 100%. Don't know if it's going to work. Geofencing is not a panacea. It's not a cure all. You can't just go, we did a geofence and we found all the murderers. It doesn't work that way. It is like having the answer to a question, but you don't know what the question is. That's what a geofence is. That's exactly how you have to look at it. You may have the answer to that question, but you got to find out what the actual question you're looking for. And it takes some time to try and get some of that information to know what you're looking for, where to look for it. It's a little bit difficult. Sean says, do we know how the guy they caught the fake ransom? Do we know how they caught the guy with the fake ransom? Yeah, they got him through his email. The voice over IP phone that he used to call the family was under his own name. The guy's a complete dumbass. He's a complete, absolute numbnuts. The fact that he would take that. Yeah, I know. I got a drink. I talk too much. Hold on. Yeah, the fact that he would do that and use his own name just makes no sense to me. Got a frog in your keyboard. I don't know. My throat just really like went mental. It's very dry here today, even though it's not that hot today. So I mean, we've been talking for like an hour and a half, so that's probably part of it too. Lisbeth said, I wonder if they have also involved the BAU. Yes, they have. BAU is involved. Um, the guy just left jail today. He's an idiot. That guy is the dumbest guy on earth. I'm going to call the family. I'm going to ask for Bitcoin under my own name. He's not going to be winning any Spy of the Year awards at all, ever. Um, to use your own Google account that is literally named after your first name and your last name. And he's like, it's the perfect crime. I'm never going to be caught. And they just tracked him down in under, I heard it was under 1 hour. Under 1 hour, they had tracked him down, found out where he was, and were going to arrest him. It is funny as hell. CMP said the scene had been processed. Everything has been documented. What more do they want? They want a suspect, I think. Rick said you can't fix stupid. No, you can't. Tharvey said the case has me perplexed. I just want to know where an 84-year-old woman would be for almost 2 weeks. Where on earth would that woman be? Because I'm so confused about where she might be at the moment. People keep messaging me. Yeah, 2 weeks. Someone is either hiding a 84-year-old woman, or they have dumped her somewhere, and that's like where are you keeping this woman? Hey Shuri, how are you? Good to see you. What time is it? 6:11. 6 feet under, you reckon? I mean, it is a possibility. As sad as that is, it is, something we have to be okay with, to be honest, because it is, the ending could be, she could be dead. They could have dumped her somewhere. She could be alive. Like, there's multiple things. CMP said, what does the blood splatter indicate? I think it indicates that the cut that she had is not that severe. You don't see any of that congealing, like massive congealing that you get with a very deep arterial cut. When you get like a deep arterial cut, you get almost this clumping. It's almost like jello. And that is when you get like severe, strong blood loss. This blood loss is not that much. And especially if someone was on blood thinner, this could be quite a small cut. So I'm not that concerned about it. Yeah, we don't know what's inside. That's just for the outside. Storage unit. I mean, people have done it before. They have kept people in storage units before. Khaliza said, I'm worried it's a body hidden in the desert or in a basement or something. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. But yeah, that the blood that we can see, I don't think it would worry me. Hold on. Yeah, here. I think I can find a good photo of it. Hold on. There was a good one where you could see. Yeah, I guess. There we go. This one here. It's not thick enough to be something like a severe injury, like a gunshot wound. At least I don't think so. I think it's such a light blood trail. I would have thought it would be, especially if they paused momentarily, you would think it'd be a lot heavier blood, but Yeah, that's true. She might be. If it was an outdoor storage unit. Yeah, there's not a lot of basements in Arizona because they don't get because around them is sand. So they have a lot of water drainage. So if you have something that's under the ground, you'll get a lot of water ingress. So CMP said moving or not at the time the blood was deposited. It almost looks like not moving to me, but I don't know. I can't see the rest of it. It almost looks like to me that they came out this door and maybe stopped for a minute. Like it could be 10 seconds, not very long. But why the blood trail didn't continue, although there is a couple of bits further down, but not in this way. I would think they paused for a little bit. Yeah, it's coming from directly above. Right. If you get an angle, you end up getting like a slant on it. Maybe a home infirmary setup. Infirmary, maybe. Yeah, it's not a lot of blood, especially for a woman who was on blood thinner. Someone who's on blood thinner, this could be like a paper cut. Mrs. Ping was on blood thinners and she nicked herself shaving her legs in the shower and she was pumping out blood. It was like frightening. So yeah, this is probably not that big of a injury. Cherie said, just so sad. Imagine how frightened she would have been waking up to that poor guy. It would have been extremely terrifying to wake up to that guy in that mask. I don't think any of us want to do that. Even at my age, I don't want that. Yet alone 84. I don't think any of us want that in their lives. So yeah, I can understand. Like this guy's creepy as hell. Like there you go. Imagine that. You wake up in the middle of the night and that's what you see. Uh Heparin or warfarin, I don't know. Don't know what she was taking, which one. Gayla said I would have pooped my pants. Yeah, possibly. Oh, you're talking about Mrs. Ping? Oh, I don't know. I am not sure what it used to be called. Some they gave us so many medications when she came out of hospital. I can't remember all the names of them. She had literally like 15 different prescriptions that she had to take. 15. We were constantly at the pharmacy getting more medication like every couple of days. So I can't remember which blood thinner she was on. Hey Rose City News Media. Hey, good to see you. Breaking news, people want the sheriff to resign or be fired. Yeah, I could. We just talked about that before. That not a lot of people think that he is doing a great job. Lisbeth said blood thinners are not all the same. Some make you bleed less than others. Yeah, we don't know which one she was on. I'm not sure what one she was on. Rick said, I just hit the like button. Thank you. If you could hit the like button out there, we've been trying to get to 200. 200 is the record that we can't quite get there. We've got like 150, 165, 170, but we can't seem to get there. We can't seem to beat the record. So, are you a fan of beating records? Hit that thumbs up for Ping. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, that would be a big deal, and I would appreciate that very much. Cherie said, I wonder if her phone alerted her and she woke up before he entered, because honestly, I would sleep through. We don't know. We don't know whether she checked her phone, whether it was unlocked. Something they will be able to have a look at is whether she accessed her phone or interacted with the phone around the time that we're guessing that it's a boy, they, them, was at the door. If she interacted with her phone, that might tell you that maybe she did hear something, and maybe she was going to get up and check, like, what was that noise. I hope she didn't hear it, but they will have if they've got her phone, they will know if she interacted with it and what time she did that. So they may know. CMP said hit the like. Yes, thank you. Kelly Girl said hit the like button for ping, folks. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, what else have we got? Recall election. They could do that, maybe. I think that would be a far-fetched idea, possibly. All right, let me see. Do we have any other updates? Did you hear that thing about Kurt Cobain today? They're saying that more evidence has been released that he did not do it himself. There is some apparently new evidence that someone might have killed him. I don't know whether to believe it, but there is new information around about it. I don't know. I feel like Kurt Cobain's death was so long ago, it almost feels wrong to sort of talk about it. It feels like just let the guy rest. That's what I feel. Who's messaging? Let me go here. Okay. I don't think I have a copy of the Kurt Cobain thing. Let me see. I don't see it anymore. Hold on. Let me have a look if I can find it for you. There was a bunch of new articles that did come out about it. Yep. News Nation had it, a bunch of other places. New report claims Kurt Cobain's death may have been a homicide. And they were providing some evidence, like where the gunshot was in his mouth. And one of the key parts of the evidence was that if he was to have shot himself, there would have been blood all over his own hand. And that when they did the autopsy on him, there was no blood on his own hand. And they're saying for someone who shot themselves in the head, that there would have been blood that ricocheted from the wound and landed on their own hand on the gun. And they're saying that they didn't find that. So take that for what you will. I don't know if that means Kurt was really killed. I have no idea. But yeah, they said that there was a lot of things done in the autopsy that weren't done correctly. So there was a picture. I wanted to show it to you. Let me see if I can find it. Here. There's the gun, by the way, that he used. It's a huge, long gun to do that, right? Look how massive that thing is. And there's a photo from the crime scene. There's the weapon. There's some stuff. Oh, where is it? They don't have it. There was a hand-drawn sketch of his mouth, like where they did the where the gunshot was, and it looked like there wasn't a possible way it could have been him. Anyway, there you go. I just thought I'd show it to you that apparently there is a bunch of new investigative. Some people have taken it upon themselves to reinvestigate it. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Gail said, was there gunshot residue? GSR. I don't know. I haven't watched the documentary that it's based on, but you can watch it after the show if you want. Go and read up about Kurt Cobain and see if whether you agree that he died or not via his own hand, or did someone have a role in his death? Yeah, because that gun is massive. Could you imagine trying to do that with this weapon? It's just, it's stupidly large, almost comically large of a gun to do what they portray him to have done with it. It's just, could you have not got a pistol or like this thing is just, I'm surprised it didn't obliterate his head, considering what a high powered weapon that was. I'm surprised there was anything left to forensically test with this type of rifle. So, seems impossible. I know, with that giant gun. Bloody gold trading ad. So sorry. I know everyone got ads tonight. I'm so sorry. All right, look, let's wind it up. It's 6:25. We almost did 3. We did over 2 hours? No, we're just shy of 2 hours. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Had some fun. We'll be back tomorrow for Friday night. We'll get to hang out for Friday night together, have some fun. We'll talk about some other cases tomorrow night because we've been doing Nancy Guthrie for like a week. We'll talk about some other cases that we haven't been able to catch up on tomorrow. Kalisa said, "Do we know for sure it was that gun?" Yes, it was that gun. I will. I will. Hey, I just want to thank some people. Thank you to all the people who have newly subscribed to the channel. It means a lot to me to see those numbers continually go up this week. Has been a real gift, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. To the people who hit the thumbs up every night, thank you so much. That helps the algorithmy thingy. Thanks to Lisa for the super chat. Thanks to Miss Spunky, I appreciate it. And Kathy Lynch for gifting a membership. I didn't see that earlier. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. And Mick Spunky gifted 5 as well. Thank you, guys. That is very kind. I'm sorry I didn't see it earlier. That is very generous of you, all of you. That money will go towards our trial in April. We are heading to the Patrick Stevenson trial in Ballarat in Victoria, Australia, early April. And we expect to be there for between a month and a half and maybe 2.5 months. So it's going to be a long trial. Anyone who donates using the links under the video in the chat or through super chats or memberships, all that money is going towards making sure we can afford to go to the trial. So I think we've raised about $800 so far, and I think we need to raise about that again. So thank you all to the people who have donated to that so far. I appreciate it. It's very kind. Hey, Brian McGuire, how are you? It's all about drugs and money, the Kurt Cobain thing. Yeah, there is a lot of drugs and money involved in that one, Brian. I agree with you. You are 100% right. Hey, Kelly Girl. Yes, good night, everyone. Hey, I love you all so much. Have a great night out there. Have a great Friday. We'll be back for Friday Night Live tomorrow night. Good night, everyone. Bye.